Good morning, everyone, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I want to say thank to Conference Organization Committee invite me to present my presentation with the title Locke's View on Human Rights and the Challenger of Modern Technology. Now I want to focus on my presentation. There is the 4 parts in my presentation. One is the introduction, and the second I focus on the John Locke's view on human rights, and the third is the challenges of modern technology in Vietnam, and the fourth is conclusion. So, beginning, I want to say that nowadays we are witnessing the amazing achievement of modern science and technology, and its practical values have created richly for human socio-economic life. Besides, its advancement also creates many rich and challenges for human life in many fields. For example, economy, culture, education, ethics, environment, security, etc. So the modern technology changed much about the human assistance, human life, and the freedom, privacy, empathy of human, and etc. So for our country, Vietnam is a developing country that has not yet applied modern technology much in practice. So, however, along with the general development trends of the time, Vietnam will not be outside the principle of development, and we also be affected by modern technology, depend on its culture. It's a different economic, political, and social body. Each country will have different solutions, of course. However, with the impact of modern technology on human nowadays, one of the shift of impact in human rights, we need to see how modern technology affect the human rights in different way and to what it tends to have a basic for analyzing the effects of modern technology on the weak element of human rights. We return to the thoughts of Locke, taking it as a basic of reflecting on the effect of current technology to its rise that Locke gave to us. So, in the course of the development of social and political thought, Locke emerged as an insightful philosopher and politician. His idea brought about the important turning point, contributing to the Enlightenment period by outlining view and new terms, then changed into a political philosophy relevant to the topic of human rights. And many of those who reflect on his idea became famous and essential figures in the political and social life of their society, like Montesquieu, like Jean-Jacques Rousseau, Voltaire, to name but a few. Locke's intellectual legacies provide new approach to the subject which differed from the previous thinker, such as Niccolo Machiavelli, or Richard Hooker, or Thomas Hobbes. His influence has not been confirmed to European countries only, but has also spread to the United States, becoming foundation for the developing a theory of rights and governance principle um, in the later 17th century and the 18th century. We wish to join in this endeavor and continues exploring important topic related to John Locke's thoughts on human rights. So we move on the main content of presentation today is two John Locke views on human rights. To counter this unsatisfactory explanation, Locke developed and employed two theories that had, in various forms, existed in his day and age. One is a natural rights theory, the second thing is a social contract theory. Foundational for John Locke's thinking were his idea of the existence of a natural law and a law of nature, aligning one's conduct and the existing social political structure with the principle and natural law as expressed in natural rights in, in intrinsic to all human, according to Locke, contributed the unavoidable foundation for creating social stability in which human rights, like life rights, rights of freedom, property rights, equality, and the pursuit of happiness are basic factors to ensure the development of society. For Locke, the most foundational natural rights of every human being was the right to fend for one's survival, which included the right to concrete means that will secure one's survival. What follows is Locke's description of the state of nature and its implication that the state of nature has a laws of nature to govern it, which obliges everyone. A reason which is that law teach all mankind who will but consider it that being all equal and independent, no one ought to harm other in his life, health, liberty, or possession. For man, being all the workmanship of one omnipotent and infinitely wise maker, all the servant of the one sovereign master sent into the world by his order, and about his business they are his property, whose workmanship they are made the last during his not another leisure. And being furnished with lighter faculties, sharing all in one community of nature, there cannot be supposed any such subordination among us that may authorize us to destroy another, as if we were made for one another use at the inferior ranks of creature are for our. Everyone as he is bound to preserve himself and not to quit his station willfully. So by the like reason, when his own preservation come not in competition, ought he as much as he can to preserve the rest of mankind, and may not, unless it be to joy justice, to an offender, take away or impair the lives, or what tend to the preservation of life, the liberty, health, land, or goods of another. Humans are the property of their creature, God. So their action and socio-political interaction are thus necessary to be governed by the divine purpose revealed in his glorious work of of creation. The natural laws in Locke work, law of nature. The law of nature concept is essential to Locke's concept of the natural rights of humans. This law of nature revealed to other and principle of the order creation. As humans are also an intricate part of creation, their faculty of reason is able to perceive and understand the law of nature. To summarize, Locke's premise is that humans live in a divinely ordered creation, with their primary purpose being to survive. Another premise is that all humans are created equal to live at the free human essence to the world. Such premise lead Locke to postulate for the four fundamental natural rights of the all human: the right to life, the right to liberty, the right to health, and the right to possession. As all of these are instrumental for human survival, moreover, the human task of the self-preservation is coupled with the task to help in the preservation and well-being of others. As this also happened to be conducted to long-term human survival. The government comes into place as a necessary evil to speak to ensure the safety and survival of the people who decide to give up the free exercise of some of their rights to increase their chance of survival and general well-being. This is how life, liberty, health, and property can be secured as part of fulfilling the God-given purpose to survive. The free sacrifice on the side of the human individual of an uncovered exercise of their natural rights is the essence of the social contractuary power rests with the individual people and is delegated from the people to government officials for the benefit of the political community. A legitimate exercise of power then arises from this free giving up of some power to make the community and life in it safer, more stable, and prosperous, better in, equipped to survive. The state government is instituted to promote justice, an essential principle stemming from the human reflect on the law of nature. In contrast, there is no impartial judge to carry out a punishment proportionate to the crime in the state of nature. Here is again where the state comes in with its institution, whose purpose is to see that justice is done. For Locke, a reasonable and impartial government is in the better position to administer justice than a passionate, biased victim. Administering justice from top down by the heavy hand of the state, as we indicated earlier, is a necessary evil under the condition and a corrupt human society. Locke seemed to have held the view that the conductions of money in the economically more involved human society gave rise to inequality, full structural as well as personal injustice, and spawned all the kind of tensions. So, Locke's third premise, or in this case, metaphysical presupposition, is that all the material work, we include all the living and the non-living things, has its architect and love given in the person of the omnipotent creator. Second, the state of nature is governed by laws of nature that reflect the world architects original creative design. Thus, those experience and the user reason, humans are able to observe and infer the implication of the law of nature for human life, both individual and social, as these implications are expressed in the intrinsic nature rights of the all people, namely the right to life, to health, to liberties, and the right of possession. And the fourth is due to limitedness, imperfections, and corruptibilities that are intrinsic to the process of human development, beginning in the state of nature and continuing in more complex civilizational setting. Human individuals choose to live in political communities governed by a social contract wherein they give up an independent exercise of some of their rights and freedoms in order to enhance the stability, justice, and prosperity of their communities. In general, it can be said that the Locke was the first person to establish the foundation for the development of the comprehensive theory of human rights. However, due to historical limitations, Locke did not consider human rights for all, but focused on the protecting the right of Europeans men at that time, only men. So the right of women or the right of immigrant and wage earners had not been given due attention. Moreover, we can talk about the rise of possession. It seems John Locke put the relationship between the human with the nature, like the people has a right to exploit the nature because the nature is the gift of God to human. So, based on the theory of human right in John Locke's thought, we can use it for see about the human right for face to the challenge of modern technology in Vietnam now. We can say Vietnam is the fast developing economy now, undergoing major change in education, science to use the technology, and the building up of the infrastructure. To mention some of the most important ones, besides the advantage of science, of technology, and the overall influence of the process of globalization on the Vietnamese social. But however, there are serious challenges to be coped with. For example, the the liberal the liberalization of the Vietnam's economy has brought abrupt shift in the management and institutional oversight. makes the social chains follow suit, resulting in considerable um, detrimental effect in terms of the new or resurfacing social phenomena. Rampant case of corruption, human trafficking, abduction of the woman, the kidnapping of the children, a strong surge in the domestic violence and sexual abuse. Third, the question of the black and traditional value and human rights in Vietnamese society re-emerged with the new acuity. Besides making life easier, the new and ever faster advance in science and modern technology tend to continue enforcing challenges to man's self-perception, values system, interpersonal communication, or the human relationship to the nature environment, to the name but a few. The concern is to harness the development of modern technology in such a way to prevent the process of dehumanization from the affecting human society and individual. We ought to what fully remember that technologies, any technology, have a far-reaching effect on the speed and scale of the human activity that it facilitates and on the pattern of human relations that it introduced or modified. Unchecked acceptance of modern and especially digital technologies on a mass scale can result in the forgetting the original purpose for which the given technology was invented in the first place. To prevent this from happening, a competent and intentional philosophical ethical reflection should be fostered by respected authority in the society. Cope with the advantage of um, so I think I talked too much now. Is we can next slide. So we can conclusion. We must say that the technology in Vietnamese has not impacted on the human rights as much as development country. However, with the initial application of modern technology in the contemporary Vietnam, applying the medical aspect, agriculture, energy, the modern now we can see Vietnam now the people use internet much. If all of you come to Vietnam, you can easily get the Wi-Fi in everywhere, like in the park, like in the coffee shop, in the supermarket, and sometimes. Because now there is more than 54 million people in Vietnam use internet, and each person average using 6 hours and 42 minutes per day. That is a statistic in 2019. So we will see some change of human right now. First, based on the human right of John Locke, I look to the human right in Vietnam. So first, the right to life. There are some genes, technologies, internal organs, transplant technology is applied in Vietnam. Although there are not any judgment about killing the people to take the internal organs, but with this technology, besides the positive thing, it helps to keep the lives of human. It provokes the offenders in society to kidnap or to kill the people to take the internal organ. And you know, this happened much in China. Even in China, they some organization, international organization, have to interfere much about the problem in China. So we should think about in Vietnam. In the future, Vietnam need to have the method to protect people in this danger. The second, the right to liberty. What happens when each person cannot keep the private information? The modern technology can interfere in individual life. How we can imagine that? What happens when we are controlled and checked to a 24 hour every year? In the future, they put the digital chip in each person and can order each person to follow what the commander wants. So, like the people feel losing the liberty. Of course, that's the future. Maybe it's happened, but now we can say, like many information from our church. They know much. For example, we can give the phone and some account, bank account, but the hacker still stolen. And you know that, like when we use Facebook, we just talk about, search about with the, during we discuss with the friend about the something, and immediately on Facebook appears this guy. Like we talked about the camera, and after a few minutes, there are many kind of camera page appear in our page on Facebook. So it's not like many private information they know, and every day there is someone to call, to call us, like to call me to ask about, they advertise the product, but how can they get my number? Because technology, so they can search, and I don't know how they do, but the individual's information spread out. And the third, the right to health. There are some genes technology in growing the plant and domestic animal. It can be impact the health of people, especially the emotional health, spiritual health. The statistic nowadays, the rate of uh, suicide in Vietnam, young people in the teenager increase when the people use the digital equipment and internet to connect each other instead of talking and meeting in person. Then the people uh, become the unmindful, neglectful, and without empathy. So they don't think much to each other. They just think themselves and they don't say many things each other. For example, in the past, when we celebrate the birthday, they often come and have a talk together and give some gift, a simple gift. But now they send the icon on Facebook and give some uh, sentence, of course, beautiful sentence, but they don't miss each other. That is problem. And the fourth, the right to the possession. Now, criminals technology can steal individual information, then they can steal the money in the bank account, like I told. How can imagine what happened when the high modern technology in the hand of the high standard level group in society? How the poor person can earn and keep their property? How? So, what's the solution for this issue besides the role of government, the social organization, the the responsibility of authority in the local officer and the school, the responsibility of each family, and we need to um, we need to do together to find a way to help the human uh, have a good future. Thank you very much for your attention. Yes, thank you.